All right, here we go. I'm going to work this out. If you were waiting for me, I hope you weren't, but here you go. Always make your variables up here private. Private int numerator, private int denominator. And then we need a constructor, public fraction, int n, int d, numerator equals n, denominator equals d. You know what would be a nifty little test would be to make sure the denominator wasn't 0, but we're not going to do that right now. Because you can't make that as a fraction. That would be a bad fraction. All right, then we need two methods. Double get decimal. So public double get decimal. And this returns the decimal version of our fraction. And you can do 1.0 times n divided by d. Or you could have said the word double n divided by d. What you didn't want to do is do n divided by d in parentheses with a double in front, because that would do the integer math, throw away the decimal, and then turn it into a double. So, what else did I ask for? A two-string. Public string, two-string. You always do a two-string exactly like this. You always start at public string, two-string. And we're going to return numerator plus a fraction bar plus denominator. And then we should be able to run my tests unless I made a mistake. Apparently I made a mistake. I think I used n and d instead of numerator and denominator. It was a rookie move. It was, and I apologize. In fact, I was thinking earlier about how I wanted to point out that n and d didn't exist anywhere in the program after the constructor. So instead, I planted a seed for my ultimate failure. Oh well. Wait, why can't you use n and d don't exist. They only exist right here and right here. They don't exist in the rest of the class. We do that so you can create, you have to have a constructor so that you can pass in. See, up here, I'm making a call. Hey, make a new fraction, 1, 2. So n and d are 1 and 2, just temporarily while that object's getting created. And then in memory, there's a numerator and a denominator inside a fraction in my code called f. So it's like, here's f, and here's numerator, here's denominator. N and d are just gone. After they only exist for the millisecond that this code runs, and then the real values are stored right here. So, yeah, it's a perfect example of how important it is to keep those things separate in your mind. So, finally, I asked you to make your own fraction. After my test, please don't just cannibalize my test. After my test, please create your own fraction, then print it and its decimal version like I did. So that means up here, fraction You might say, why don't I let you just cannibalize my test? Like, why not just let you put your own numbers up here? Because it's good practice for you to be thinking to yourself, okay, how do I create a fraction? What am I going to name it? How do I access it? And if you just reused my tests, that'd be robbing you of a little bit more practice. Except I use the same numbers. So let's see, 89, 55 is what I wanted to do. Yes, Tosh.
For some reason, my get decimal is not.
Is it capital D down here?
Yeah, it is. Oh, but I spelled it wrong.
Okay. I'm going to stop the recording for this.